Hello AGDQ submission board, my name is Utsu,
My name is Tokigi.
and this is our submission run for Borderlands 2 for AGDQ 2018. So go and press start. So the timing in this game generally starts upon being able to take control of our character after this cutscene with Claptrap here. He is a talking box.
With a wheel. This game is full of dialogue skips, out of bounds. What else? Item duplication.
Speed, literal speed.
Lots of speed.
Velocity, maximum velocity.
Momentum.
Yeah, just the net code and the code in this game is just generally awful. Especially in this patch. We play an earlier patch. Which patch is this again?
Version 1.1.
Yeah, we play on 1.1 because that's the buggiest version of the game. So time is going to be here in a second. And time. So here I go into my menu to basically get this little prompt out of the way and start to be able to set up a glitch that I'll explain further in the future.
Many missions in the beginning of this game are just following this little guy Claptrap. So what I just did was I followed him to 2 points where he needs to be able to move, and that just gets the game going. And I also opened my inventory to get the prompt out of the way.
So there, what I did, you might have seen a whole bunch of guns explode at me. That's because of a glitch where I'm putting in a whole lot of inputs for swapping weapons, and I put in a lot of inputs for dropping weapons, which makes the game basically get confused and spawn a whole lot of sniper rifles. Here we're going to be doing a duplication glitch of this thing called Echo Log, which basically plays a voice line. It says a little bit about Axton's backstory, but what we use it for is basically skipping Claptrap's dialogue here. So Claptrap will go through this long dialogue telling us about stuff, but if we activate this, then it goes ahead and you didn't kill me.
I know, it'll be fine.
Then it starts this cutscene immediately, and we can go ahead and move on. There, Togi was supposed to kill me, but he missed. So it kills me, he gets the cutscene, he gets the mission, I mean. And I come over here and jump onto this. What I just did is...
Here we're gonna save and quit?
Yeah, saving and
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. So saving and quitting, basically. There, after I get that, there's a checkpoint on the other side of that wall. And because I landed on there, it activated the checkpoint. And activating that checkpoint makes the game think that we've already had Claptrap open the door for us and all of the required story stuff has been done. So once we get in here, Claptrap's just going to already have a door open for us. And we can just immediately go.
That's the first example of many hitbox issues with this game. That one being positive, most of them being negative.
It's especially bad for off-host because not all of the hitboxes are synced up for me. So yeah, because Tokigi killed me earlier during that duel, and I had used the Echo, he won the duel, which means that the game gave him the Echo, which means it's in his inventory right now, despite me already using it. So what I'm doing right here is I'm duplicating these guns by inputting lots of swap weapon commands with a hyper-scrolling mouse, and then a whole lot of drop weapon commands with the scroll wheel on another mouse. And for every single sniper rifle that is duplicated, every Jacob sniper rifle at least, gives plus 150% critical hit damage. And so for everyone duplicated, I get plus 150% critical hit damage, which means that anything I land a critical hit on will take massive damage. I generally want to be doing about 1k around here because that giant monster called a bullymong that grabbed Claptrap and stole his eye. It's a boss that we're about to fight here in a second, and it only has about 1,000 health, which means that by doing lots of damage there, we just skip that whole fight, essentially. So I'm doing enough damage there. I'm doing about 1,000. And I'm doing about 1,100, really.
Here I'm gonna
1,163 is
pick
what I
up some
saw.
guns just to sell as a safe strat. In case we don't have enough money for guns later on in the game, that'll be really important.
This here's one of the doors that we have to wait for Claptrap to open. It's generally something that's unavoidable with this run. Waiting for NPCs to do things for you. There's a lot of these cutscenes that are pretty unskippable, and they usually just show off a character or something like that. They last like 2 to 3 seconds. So because I gained all that damage, I can just go ahead and scope in, shoot him in the face, and I apparently did not have enough damage. But either way, I still two-shot him and it went much faster. So here, we're going to run up this hill, and we're going to be doing another duplication glitch on the Echo to skip another Claptrap dialogue.
This time I have the item, so if you're watching my POV, here you go.
Sure about that?
So by activating that there, he just goes and makes Claptrap automatically go to open this door. So as I was saying earlier, this game has a lot of hitbox issues, especially for the person who's not the host. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up this repeater, which, because I've been getting all of that critical hit damage, it's not only on this sniper rifle, it's on every single weapon that I want to use. And the doll pistol has a much higher fire rate than the sniper rifle has at all. And up ahead there's going to be a point where I need to fight some bullymong's, and their hitboxes aren't quite correct when they start to come out of their den.
Here we're just gonna do some looting, get some ammo for later on in the run. Here's I don't know if it's really a glitch, just you have to pull anything out of this box to finish that part of the mission. So typically they want you to pick up the shotgun, but you don't have to, you can just pick up some ammo.
The shotgun's really not worth it to pick up. I know they grab it in the single player though.
Really? I didn't know that actually.
So there, if we go too early before Claptrap finishes his dialogue, then Claptrap will just sort of stay there and talking like he is now. Except, yeah, he just won't be moving.
Attention, people of Pandora. Handsome Jack here, offering $1 million to whoever brings me.
So this here is Handsome Jack. He's the villain of the story. He's basically just the guy who's going to be talking to us for the duration of this game.
So then we're gonna save and quit. That's gonna skip some Claptrap dialogue, some Claptrap movement. He's gonna get the find us a way into Liarsburg right there, which was the town that we weren't quite in yet. We're gonna go back in, and it's gonna be daytime now. We're gonna have to fight some dudes in Liarsburg.
The default time of day is always like morning. Some maps don't have day and night cycles, I believe, but most of them do.
Yeah.
And daytime is essentially the most common time that'll start at. So here, these are bandits, and they work for Captain Flint there, who is basically like the king bandit of this area. And his people are occupying Liarsburg right now. And the person we need to put Claptrap's eye back in is Hammerlock, who is trapped in his house by these people. But we just killed all of them, and we saved and quit to skip a lot of dialogue and Claptrap moving.
Yeah, same reason as last time.
So here, what we're going to do is we're going to run all the way to a area that we need to be in to trigger Hammerlock's cutscene. But before that, we're going to try to set up another duplication glitch with the trading. And if we can get it, then we can skip a little bit of Hammerlock's dialogue. Generally, you'll see Tokigi moving before me, and that's because I'm still loading in. He's the host, so obviously he gets in the game faster than me.
Typically, this game is run on LAN. We're currently running through Steam servers, though.
A pleasure to meet you, Vault Hunter. I am Sir Hammerlock. At your service. I came out here to research the bully molds for my almanac.
Right here, we're gonna do this trade.
So I have it this time, so I'm gonna put in duel.
To survive a direct run-in with Handsome Jack and defeat Captain Flint's bandits. Unheard of. I'm headed to Sanctuary. Now, if you could hand me the
Yeah, so there I skipped a little bit of his dialogue, so Toki could just immediately give him the eye right there. And then that's the last save and quit we're gonna do for a little bit.
Yep. What we're skipping here is Hammerlock's gonna take a lot of time to fix Claptrap, and they're gonna walk all the way across the town. And if we load in here again, they're already gonna be across the town, and Hammerlock's gonna try on the power for us, so we can buy some ammo and do some side missions and
So I
all
didn't
that good stuff.
emphasize earlier. Toki and I both have something called a hyper scrolling mouse, which basically whenever you scroll the mouse, it won't stop scrolling. And so I have swap weapon bound to scroll wheel down, which makes me start scrolling extremely fast, and then drop weapons bound to scroll up. And by doing that, I input a whole lot of inputs for swap weapon and drop weapon. Of course, the netcode gets confused, duplicates a whole lot of weapons, drops the weapons, but also thinks that I'm still holding the weapons. So I still get all of the damage increase. Here Tokigi is doing some side quests to basically get us a much better rifle in the near future.
It's gonna be after we do our second boss fight.
Here I'm just sort of walking Claptrap because he needs an escort to get everywhere. Again, a lot of the beginning of this game is just sort of walking Claptrap everywhere. You'll see me putting weapons into my inventory before I go to pick up the sniper rifles, and that's because these sniper rifles technically aren't real entities and will try to go into my my secondary inventory. But, well, they'll try to go to my main inventory, but they try to go straight into there. They won't load correctly.
So I just finished that side mission, which is gonna unlock some other side missions for us, which is gonna let us get that sniper rifle we were talking about earlier, which is going to make us doing the next boss fight. We're gonna farm a boss fight 3 times, and the second and third boss fights are gonna be considerably easier with that sniper rifle. This time we're gonna have to do it with our base ones though.
So here I have this assault rifle equipped because I still have all of that critical hit damage. However, this gun has an extremely high fire rate, so it just makes the whole thing a whole lot easier because as long as one of these bullets hits their head, they're basically done for. I generally don't really need to aim.
I'm on my way over here to do this side mission. I'm gonna have to kill some Boymongs with just my melee attack. I can damage them with my gun, but I'm gonna have to finish them off with my melee attack, which is gonna rip their fur off, and Hammerlock is gonna like that a lot and want to wear it. And I got a Monglet, which is the easiest Boymong to kill.
So
you can kill him in 1 to 2 shots.
So
with a
I'm
melee
down
attack,
right now, and enemies really don't like to be in your favor sometimes. The AI in this game is really, really strange.
It's actually incredibly unpredictable, which is probably either an accident or just really good programming.
So here there's going to be these psychos, which will basically, they want to blow up, like right on me. And usually they run at me, but there they didn't for some reason. That's how unpredictable it is. Yeah, usually I'd want to run all the way over there and stand in front of a door that one of the bosses comes out of. But I'm down, so I can't run over there. This fight is...
Oh no, Buster Iron doesn't say hello.
This fight is going to be significantly more difficult for me because I wasn't able to get into the right positioning. I can probably shoot these racks and hope for the best. Okay, yeah,
I aggroed them on me,
that
so it
worked.
might be hard. Got it? Okay.
So yeah, so usually I just shoot Bume here in the face and he die instantly right out of that door. But obviously that didn't work. I don't want to aim directly at Boom's head when he's up there. You're up here.
Hi.
Yeah, Toki doesn't usually come up here.
I finished the side mission already.
So as long as I kill him, I can get up.
What I'm going to be doing here is just shooting some other enemies, trying to get some experience points, which is going to be really crucial later on in the run. A lot of this run, weapon vendors and crates are based on what level you are, and there are certain checks during the run, or during the playthrough, to see what level you are.
You can quit.
Okay. So we're going to try to be a certain level at a certain point in the run so that we can get the right weapons.
So what you saw me do there is tutorial dialogue is like is the highest priority of anything in the game. And so there Claptrap was talking about how you need to get on the cannon, but because I picked up a grenade mod that just canceled out him telling you to get on the cannon. So there I just turned in the mission, and now we got this new sniper rifle. These sniper rifles are the like there's no way to control what they are. I got 100, which was really lucky.
Yeah, that's a good gun. I think I got a 68.
So right now we're just sort of going back to farm Boom Boom because I need to get to level 6 to be able to do a glitch in the near future. Tokigi summons Death Trap in this town here. Every character has this thing called an action skill. Both of our characters are basically the turret characters. We don't really play them for their action skills. We just play them for the skills that you can level up within their skill trees, which will either level up something about them or their action skill. Axton here is a little turret. Engage throws out a robot, and he summons Death Trap in there to kill everybody in there to gain me more XP. I want to generally be level 6 coming out of here, so I have a skill point.
There's a 3% chance for this boss to drop a legendary weapon, which is just the highest rarity of item in the game. We didn't get one this time, so it's called the bonus package, and it does a lot of damage in a lot of area.
It's
So
basically
it's
a
very
grenade that
useful for
spawns a
getting
grenade
XP
that spawns
later.
a grenade,
Yes.
but a lot of them.
Well, it's a grenade that spawns 8 grenades, and then all those 8 grenades spawn a grenade, so... Very big surface area of damage.
So here what we're going to do is Axton has a skill called Expertise, which essentially it increases his movement speed while he's scoped in. However, because I'm off host and I start scoping in and then I drop my weapon while scoped in, the game doesn't register that I ever unscoped. So this whole time it just keeps adding up my movement speed, thinking that I'm still scoped in all this time, and just the math keeps getting confused and more confused until eventually I just have that movement speed on everything. Basic sprinting speed, basic walking speed, scoped in speed, it's just everywhere. The reason why I'm using these 2 repeaters is because repeaters have the fastest recovery time between when you pull them up and when you can scope in again. So it's just the most consistent way and fastest way to get more speed.
What I'm going to be doing here is killing this boss one more time. And Uchu's just going to be farming that, like we just explained.
I usually time it until I see
And
about 1,350 experience appear like that. I
is
come
right
over
there.
and I grab my sniper rifle. And as you can see, now I'm very fast. I'm going to have this for essentially the rest of the run.
There may be a point where we have to save quit later and that'll get reset, but should be for the rest of the run that he's fast.
So here, because I can run really fast, we usually need to wait for all this dialogue for that to open, but I just sort of jump over it. So here I'm going to tell Tokigi that he can die. So go ahead. And because I just hit that checkpoint, he's going to spawn all the way up here and be able to fight these enemies that spawn here. and gain some more XP. However, I'm just sort of gonna run past.
Personal torture buddies for life.
The game wants us to basically help out Claptrap, who's being kicked, beat up by all these guys. But I just sort of show up, headshot them all, and then move on the quest. So here, you usually can't do these fights until Claptrap says something like that and initiates the fight. So the general strategy that I have for this is to shoot all the barrels and to throw the turret right there. And that is the most optimal spot for the turret because it can cover basically any direction. At this point I have no crit stack, so I'm basically reliant on actually aiming. So now that that fight's done, I just sort of run all the way up here. And then Togi can sort of get ready to die right now. So I run up here, and I hit this checkpoint, and now he's good to die. I drop these here, because there's going to be a boss up here that I'm going to need to do a lot of damage to. So I'm going to go back to crit stacking like before. Claptrap can't climb stairs, so he needs us to hoist him up on an elevator. I'm going to do this about 3 or 4 times. And I'm going to move on, because I need to get in position to be able to shoot this guy Flint in the head fast enough.
What I'm going to be doing is getting in the position to distract Flint, so we'll be able to get an initial headshot on him. And then I'm going to try to finish him off in a certain amount of time to get this door open with 2 enemies to come out of it, and occasionally that can skip about 45 seconds of enemy fighting. It's incredibly inconsistent, though.
It's our new torture dolls, boys. Let's turn up the heat.
Yeah, so because he's looking away, I have full range at his head. And I'm just sort of going to shove into him so that he can't, he's playing Minecraft, but that's okay. The door's open, kill him.
Sorry, I had to drop reload.
I'm going to check on Claptrap. Yeah, we got it. So,
We did? Awesome.
well, actually, no, he's still running around. So no, we
Okay.
didn't get the skip. I thought the dialogue triggered it. It meant that we got, but so because we didn't get the skip, means we have to kill all of these guys for Claptrap to. What the heck?
What's wrong?
He's saying things like as if we're good to go. Oh, he's coming.
Oh.
He's coming.
Is he?
We may have soft blocked it. I'm a
Oh,
little.
yeah, we might have soft
I'm a little scared. It's weird. 'Cause he was running around. Yeah. Again, this skip is in.
Yeah, this is one of the. No, he's opening the door. Okay, we're good.
Well,
Maybe.
well, we.
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah, we.
We're good.
Well, he can still turn around, but basically, that glitch is incredibly inconsistent. It's the riskiest part for soft locking. Here, I leveled up my expertise to 2 out of 5, which means I have even more percentage of speed increase. So I'm just sort of gonna be stacking right here. Oh, Tokigi.
Yeah, I'm just doing a mission while he does his thing. I'm about to travel.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, there's still enemies shooting at us.
Yeah,
That was weird.
that was the weirdest one we've ever had of that. So Togi's gonna wait for me to give him the go-ahead to die. So I'm just sort of gonna run really fast up here. Okay, he can die. I'm just gonna spam this. Spamming this skips a whole lot of dialogue and basically just makes the run to go faster. This whole quest.
And what they're gonna tell him is to go get something to. Oh, hey.
So,
This is a badass enemy. Did we explain these yet?
no.
Okay, so
Okay, so I didn't get it because he knocked me out of the way. He's in a predicament. But essentially, yeah, BA enemies are badass. That's just their names. They're basically just the hardest form of an enemy.
And they give way more XP, so this is actually super helpful for us. I'm gonna spam this, and that's a little bit more consistent with skipping dialogue. Um, and I'm just killing these Blanongs again for XP.
While he's doing that, I'm getting myself positioned over here. In the meantime, I'm gonna do some crit stacking because more damage is always nice.
Right there was a small dialogue skip. Scooter has a lot of dialogue right there. He's the guy who runs the Catch Rides. And it's supposed to play and not
So
let you use
here
the
I
machines in
can
the car.
push that button, continue the mission, and then sort of run off to where the mission wants me to go. Where there's this echo, one of the little communicator things up here that I have to pick up to continue the mission. It's right here.
I'm heading over to where Uchi was just now, and I'm just going to be spamming this button a lot to skip a lot of the dialogue.
So here I'm not able to kill these guys completely until that dialogue finishes. So now that that's done, I can go ahead and talk to him. If I do that too early, then Reese there will just sort of keep flowing about and be like, oh, they're attacking me, when they're not really attacking him. So once that's done, this psycho specifically comes out, and once he's dead, I can grab the power core and just sort of leave and die. Dying here lets me come back right to the checkpoint that's right next to the button for Sanctuary, and that just sort of lets me be right here once immediately available.
Roland, is that you? Oh, it's the Vault Hunter. Get in quick. Roland's Echo communicator went dead. We need your help.
It looks like I'm doing like random shooting. I'm trying to shoot in an area where racks will fly over to us and we just get some XP by killing them.
So here I'm going to run all the way over here to Jessup, and I'm going to talk to him, and I'm going to put that power core that we grabbed earlier into here, because Sanctuary is basically the main hub for the resistance against Jack, who's trying to take over Pandora. And so Jack periodically bombs Sanctuary, so they need that the shield and the power cores to stay safe. Because here's Jessup, and we need to wait for him to move to be able to get through this door. So here there's going to be two pre-rendered cutscenes that can happen, one for Scooter and one for this guy named Marcus. But we can use Marcus's to skip over Scooter's.
Without you, the Crimson Raiders don't stand a chance against Jack. Please find out where Roland's gone.
I basically timed that by going in right when Angel says gone. So because this cutscene is playing right when Scooter's supposed to play, it thinks that we've already played both of them, and it just doesn't bother playing them ever again. So here's going to be, there is a an example of skipping dialogue with a side mission. I use Marcus again to cut over Scooter, and here I'm basically just doing this whole mission rather than going off to do something else, because this mission here, this weapon here that I'm using, these elemental ones, are mission specific ones, and we can never get them out of our inventory until we finish the mission.
I'm just filling the fuel cells as the main story is telling us to do.
I come over here and do this one for Tokigi, and I run over here to this guy named Crazy Earl, who you can basically buy upgrades from, but the game makes you buy something from him before you can continue. Here's Hammerlock again, and we're gonna, I walk up him to trigger a dialogue, which cuts over Scooter.
Thanks to the thorough drubbing you delivered upon Captain Flint, I was able to leave the southern shelf and get back to the business of finishing my old...
And I'm going to use his side mission to cut over him again. Tokigi's going to open up that door for me while I grab this side mission to cut over future dialogues. I'm going to run in through here and grab this side mission. Or turn in the main mission, rather. I'm going to come into his vault. I'm going to spam E. which basically just grabs an echo that's in there as fast as I can. So now we're going to, the story is having us go to somewhere to basically save Roland, as we think, because we think someone named the Firehawk has grabbed him. So I'm just sort of running really fast in this direction, get there as fast as possible. Toki's checking a vendor and seeing if there's something called a Jacob shotgun in there.
Yeah, when we refer to something as like Jacob's flat off or something, that the first thing we say is the brand, and the second thing, you know, is of course what kind of gun it is.
This game has like,
I forgot how many brands there are. They all have their own gimmicks though.
there's like
Jacobs are
5.
like old time guns. Are there 5? Okay. Jacobs are old time style weapons that do lots of damage with low clip size and extremely high fire rate. Most of the time.
So there, I just grabbed a weapon called the lasso, which is a submachine gun, which basically it shoots two shots per bullet you shoot, and it has insanely high fire rate. And so in general, it's just a very helpful gun for this point in the game because it's high damage and high fire rate. And there was an example of buggy hitboxes. You can die.
Okay. I think we got it.
So there's a
What should be happening here is I might be able to move during a cutscene, the respawning cutscene, and that's just gonna let me get a small boost into this room. Also, what you saw there was the border for that cutscene being extremely off because I was dead during it. I did not get the skip.
Okay. So here I'm duping a whole lot of lassos because Tokigi's gonna need a whole lot because of the way that he needs to reload this game.
Yeah. So have we explained drop reloading? I think we have. When
No.
you pick up a new weapon in this game, it just has a full clip in it every time. So what we do is if we put an item in our inventory, it's considered a new weapon again. So when we pull it back out, it's going to have a full clip. When we drop a weapon and pick it back up, the same thing applies. So what I'm going to be doing is merging my sniper rifles into my lasso, which is similar to how crit stacking works, except I can only do it with up to 4 weapons. And I'm gonna get a critical hit bonus by that. And by reloading, by switching into my inventory instead of drop reloading, I'm going to be able to keep my merge without having to reset that every time I reload.
So generally what I just did, I just got him a an anarchist class mod. What I'd usually get there, unless there was something like that in that vendor, is I'd get a turtle shield, which is the kind of shields that I go for because they give me a whole lot of shield capacity, and that's the best way for me to stay basically scaled with all the enemies, because eventually we're going to be severely underleveled.
There's a pretty okay green one in the beginning vendor if you want to grab that at the end.
I just checked that that weapon crate right there because that has a chance to spawn something called a Vladov rocket launcher. Vladov being the brand, rocket launcher being the type of gun. And Vladov rocket launchers have something about them which lets us do a glitch that gives us basically infinite ammo. But we can't get one until before level 10 except from a few select chests. So after that chest, I come down here to basically grab XP, and there's 2 chests here that I can get a Jacob's shotgun from, which is a shotgun that you can, as a low magazine, however, it does a lot of damage and fires as fast as you can pull the trigger. And be able to get one of those early. That's a long rider. A long rider is basically a single barrel Jacob shotgun, and we want something with more than 1 barrel. Scatterguns and long riders both have a single barrel. A coach gun is a gun with 2 barrels. A bushwhack is a gun with 3 barrels, and a quad is a gun with 4 barrels. That is how the naming scheme goes for the Jacob shotguns. This game usually has like names for guns usually. if it's like this gun is the lasso.
Yeah.
So because neither of those weapon crates had the kind of guns I needed, I'm basically just farming for XP for later on. So we can be the right level when we need to be.
There's a chance some of the enemies I'm killing will drop the gun we need to.
There's just something about BA psychos in this area and dropping Jacob shotguns. Something to note about whenever you level up in this game. Whenever you level in this game, you get a 100% damage increase for 60 seconds, I believe.
Yes.
And
When
so,
you go down, you get a 50% damage increase for like 20 or something.
so essentially, timing level ups can be good in the future to help us with bosses and such. Here I've killed
it's
everybody in this
really
camp, so I'm sort of gonna just run off to another camp and keep leveling. This is usually the camp that I go to if I have time.
Hey, a Jacob sniper rifle.
So even though I'm down, I still have a whole lot of speed
Feeling tapped out though, 'cause you're
because the speed increase affects all of my speed.
Give it here.
You might have seen earlier when I was down, my
Thanks.
I was moving really slow and couldn't get to where I needed to be.
Ooh, you've got a grenade mod. Those change the way your grenades behave. If you find
So here, usually whenever you try to travel, there is
or split into a
going to a menu will stop the traveling. However, if you go into a menu and immediately get out of it within a certain amount of time in the last 2 seconds, it will not affect the menuing at all. Or the traveling, rather.
All right, killer. I'm back in sanctuary. Be
Our
careful.
weapons reset in a minute.
Bloodshots have camped out all around the dam. You'll want to get a vehicle to soak up some bullets for you.
So here, because we met Lilith, who is the Firehawk, we were informed that Roland is actually in this place called the Bloodshot Stronghold. So you need to get a vehicle, get out.
Oh, oops.
Lilith tells us that we need to get a vehicle, but occasionally, whenever we get a vehicle, it won't register that we have the vehicle, so he has to get out and get back in.
Nobody seems to be around.
Travel? Yeah.
Just drive up
So,
and sound the
as I was saying, we know Roland's in there, so we drive up with our own car and honk our door to try to get in. But we don't have the right kind of car, so we go to Scooter's sister, Ellie, to basically get the kind of car that they use so we can sneak in.
But you ain't so. Guy. Stuff.
So this here's...
I'm just killing some enemies that aren't gonna help us with the mission, because we do have to kill enemies for the next mission we're gonna do, but they drop items, and the ones that aren't spawned by the mission won't drop the items we need. So it just gets kind of confusing, so I kill them before the mission starts.
So this is Ellie, and she has a fun hobby. She likes to mess with her neck.
Yeah, it's some impressive plastic surgery Pandora has.
So I'm gonna skip an Ellie dialogue here real quick with this guy here, which saves us a good like 10 seconds. So yeah, Ellie's neck does that because of where I'm positioned, and so all the games in this, all the cutscenes in this game, aside from those 4 pre-rendered ones in Sanctuary, are like in-game cutscenes. So because I was standing like somewhat close to her during that cutscene, she was trying to look at me despite her body turning. What I just grabbed earlier was a pistol called the Gwen's Head, which there are different kinds of critical damage in this game. There's like type A and then type B. And type B basically just multiplies type A's. And so by having the Gwen's Head, it gives me less critical hit damage increase over time. However, it will amplify my damage from my sniper rifles way more, and this ensures that I get the most damage I possibly can. In addition, it also helps my recoil because the snipers, despite them being perfect, they still add recoil onto me over time the more I stack them. So by stacking the Gwen's Head with the sniper rifles that you've been seeing me stack with, I basically get the best damage I can and make sure that my accuracy doesn't get terrible. The Gwen's head is guaranteed to spawn on this map in one of 5 locations. The place I got in is probably the best location. The second being an Ellie shack, the third being next to a power line, the fourth being on the train, and the worst being in this camp that I have to ramp off of that big rock there. It looks like it's from the Lion King. And it just wastes a lot of time.
Alright, you can travel.
So here we got the car we need to, so we're coming back here to go ahead and continue with the main storyline. So he's gonna honk his horn at the gate. And I'm gonna try to skip some dialogues by running through here really fast and starting a cutscene early. Like that. So this here's Bad Ma. He's a mini boss. He's got a shield and he's extremely annoying. However, he has a chance to spawn a blue gun, which is a higher rarity than green.
Yeah, the rarities are white, green, blue, orange. And they're white, green, blue, purple, E-Tech, orange.
Of
and
the
E-Techs you're not gonna see a lot of.
of the blue Jacob shotguns that can spawn, it's either any variety can spawn, but because he can spawn a blue gun, that gives opportunity for us to get a shotgun right here. And he spawned a Tor gun.
Fun.
So where is the? Oh, there it is. It was in his corpse. So here I'm gonna start to lower this drawbridge. And in the meantime, I'm going to come up to this weapon crate here, which has a chance to spawn a Vladoff rocket launcher or one of the Jacob's guns, and it just spawned pistols. So we aren't quite level 10 yet here, and we can't go to get the guns that we need from Sanctuary until we're level 10, because vendors won't spawn rocket launchers until level 10. But luckily, what we can do...
Definitely level up, by the way.
Luckily, what we can do is we can run up to this thing, activate it, and when we go back, Bad Ma will just be back again. Which means we have another chance at a blue, and we just get a whole lot of XP from him. So here I generally throw my turret to take aggro for me. And his head is really buggy for me to hit all the time. And so there we go. He dropped a bandit SMG. So that's not good.
Oh my god.
That's another thing that keeps you from going down, or from traveling. If you go down, then you just can't travel at all. So here what we're going to do is gonna run here, and we're going to travel to Sanctuary. And we're going to check these weapon vendors for both a Vladoff rocket launcher and a okay, so I got a Vladoff and a Jacob shotgun. I was going to say I got a Vladoff.
I got nothing.
Okay. So we have a oh, okay. I was gonna describe our backup strat.
You can do it now.
Well, I just wanted to do it, but oh well. So we have a backup strat in mind in case, like, during the stream, we just don't get a weapon here to basically keep the run consistent, so we just keep going guaranteed. Because there's a chance we can just keep going back and forth like this, quitting and saving over and over and over again. But we've put some weapons into this thing called the stash, which is basically a thing that you can use to transfer weapons between characters. And we basically put some generic, like, coach guns in there. So nothing? Did you get anything?
Oh, purple torque shotgun.
Okay, so we're just gonna save and quit here a few times. If we don't get it within 2 or 3 times, we're just gonna use our backup strat. But generally in a run, if you were to do that, it wouldn't be legitimate.
Oh yeah, it definitely isn't legitimate. You'd have to reset.
That's also considered New Game Plus. However, it's something that we thought of to basically keep things consistent, not back and forth like this. As you can see, I'm running normal speed here, and like that's just because we had to save and quit. All of our glitches are lost. Tokigi isn't merged anymore. I don't have any critical damage. Nothing.
Purple Torg rocket launcher.
So yeah, this is the last time we're gonna do this. If we don't get it this time, then we're just gonna use our backup strat.
Oh, do you still have that anarchist class one?
Yeah, I do.
I dropped that from you at some point if we get the weapons.
So we're just gonna run over here. I got a long rider. Did you?
Drop a flat off.
Okay. So we're just gonna go ahead and go do this quest for Claptrap to basically make it so we can continue the run. So in there is something called the stash. We can use it to transfer weapons between us. However, just by sitting here through this, we can just wait for this well, that skips that, but that takes away a skip that we can do later. So here I can just go in here. Just go in here, grab this coach gun. I'll just turn this in real quick. And now that I have those, I can basically dupe these for Toki to grab.
I didn't sell my extras though, so I'm gonna do that now. There we go.
So I'm just gonna make some of these be real for him.
I have some. You don't need to.
Okay. So I'm just gonna.
I'm gonna go travel.
Okay. I need to.
Actually, I need to buy ammo.
I need to. So basically, every third shot of the whatever rocket launcher will have a chance to not take ammo. However, with the first shot, after you shoot the gun once, the first shot will always not consume ammo. So by switching back and forth between the shotgun and it, we can basically do this. So here I'm gonna start getting my speed back because we load out, and so I don't have any of my speed anymore. And I'm gonna need it for a skip up ahead. So the hitboxes in this game work and don't work. They just don't work. Some you'd expect some things to have collision that don't, and some things do have collision that really shouldn't. So up ahead here, I'm gonna show you something that is really interesting. Togi's gonna hold back while I do this so I can get this more consistent. I'm gonna throw my turret here to distract some enemies, and I'm basically just gonna jump up here, open that up just in case it has grenades in it, line this up, and as soon as the grenade comes back on my screen, I'm gonna jump. It's gonna send me up here, and as you see here, there's no collision. And so I can basically just run out of bounds and just run past the whole level. No fighting, no nothing, just going past.
I'm just in here going through getting some XP.
This area is really risky though because there's an area underneath of me that's for a side quest that we can't even get right now. And if I fall into it, I'm trapped in it. However, once I get to this point, I'm basically safe. I need about 2 grenades to do this glitch, so I can get up to here. Here I'm gonna go ahead and re-equip this sniper rifle, and I'm gonna be crit stacking in the meantime whenever I have like 2 or 3 seconds of free time, so that I can get my crit damage back up from us saving quitting. Like here, there's a small little buffer time, but before clicking that I can just go ahead and get some crits.
Vault Hunter, good to finally meet you in person. Hell of a job fighting through those bloodshots. This'll just take a second.
So this is Roland. He's from the first game, so was Lilith. all the Vault Hunters from the first game are in this game. And he's basically just the commander of the Crimson Raiders, and he basically tells us what to do for the most part.
By the way, I had my audio off for a while here, because there's a bug with this level where your audio just gets doubled. So I just have that off so it doesn't get annoying.
That's how Handsome Jack pays ransom. Long time no see, Roland.
So it's faster for me to go underneath of that little like opening door, rather than waiting for this loader to come out of nowhere and blow up the door to his cage, because it opens much sooner. I can crouch walk underneath of it faster than waiting for the door to explode. I don't have much time to crit stack here, so I don't have that much crit damage. However, the fact that I have a super fast shooting shotgun more than makes up for it. So here, I basically, the whole run depends on me being able to navigate super fast. So here I'm going to tell Tokigi that he can die, so he can catch up to me like a while ago. This is Warden, but because I have this super high damage, super fast shooting gun, I can essentially just spam him down and he's dead. So here for this whole thing, I'm clicking. However, Tokigi was probably, have you rebounded yet?
Oh yeah, I rebind as soon as I get into the ammo. I have a hyper mouse too, so I have my weapon firing shot down to scroll wheel down, and it just lets me shoot a little bit faster, because there is a cap on how fast you can shoot these, but it's pretty much around how fast you could shoot if you were just clicking a mouse regularly. So it's a little bit faster to use the scroll wheel and
just keep scrolling rather than clicking.
Yeah, it's also a bit more comfortable. Your wrist can start to hurt if you're clicking for long.
So here Tokigi's going to travel as soon as he hears that grenade jump. So go. And in these 2 seconds here, I'm going to grab these side quests from Lilith for later dialogue skips. So here we're about to come to this place. We're going to meet another one of the Vault Hunters. His name is Mordecai. And, what is it? He's basically going to tell us what we need to do to get the vault key, which we're going to be told is apparently on a train. And, but right now he's taking a nap. He's asleep right now. And so the only way to wake him up is with the screaming of these little bug things, like orchids. The way we have to do it is set them on fire. The fastest way to set them on fire is to shoot around, have them gather around, and then shoot these fire melons, and then sort of leave.
So angry. So dead.
So yeah, so that's Mordecai. So while he's talking, I'm making my way up to another character. Her name is Tiny Tina. And she's someone that we need to basically get the vault key off of the train. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to skip some of her dialogue by having her talk before this cutscene. And I got it.
Awesome.
So
what I'm doing is I'm just running ahead to finish the mission.
So because I started talking to her prior to this mission, or prior to this cutscene, she's saying her lines, but she's not. And so she's already sort of going. So while she's doing that, I'm going to run all the way over here and to kill this bandit, because he drops the side quest that we need.
It gives us a chance to get a better shotgun, which can really help later on in the run.
I also use it to skip some Tiny Tina dialogue. And I run all the way back here. So in the meantime, Tokigi is doing the main mission for me.
Oh, one arm.
And I am I'm crit stacking. to gain more crit damage for later. As you can hear the gunshots in the distance.
Best day ever! Bring him back here and I'll use him to make some fine-ass damsels and hijack that train. Awesome! Just a secco.
So there I run out of her shack as fast as possible because otherwise she won't start doing anything. Because Gearbox didn't really program any animations for her for that area. She just sort of glitches around. You can kind of see it if you look underneath.
Well, hello there.
Put a little bomb in a hot-ass damsel.
I'm just running over to do this side mission that they got earlier.
Oh, damn, you looking good, lady.
Yeah, see that it does that.
Let's get
Here I'm gonna skip her dialogue with Lilith, pick those up, and then just sort of go.
Good plan, great plan.
So Axton has a bug in this game where while he's going very fast and he goes up a ladder, he'll fly off it at the top. So what I do is I throw my turret up there because that's collision, and then use it to stop my momentum.
Just go fast when you want me to set the stage.
In the meantime, we're waiting for Tina to let me keep going. I'm just sort of gonna shoot at people. Once I poke those, I'm gonna come up to this weapon crate. I'm gonna look in this, and it has a Torg rocket launcher. I died, but that's no big deal. I'm gonna open up this. That's another rocket launcher, and I'm gonna check what I got. I didn't get anything.
Okay.
So that's not too bad. We still have opportunities in the future to get more shotguns, but that's probably our best bet on getting a shotgun.
The Volkie's still up on that ice shelf. Better climb that wreckage to get there.
Find that path to the train.
So I'm gonna drop his
Search the train cars.
anarchist here.
The Volkie and the most fortified one.
Thank you.
This whole time, Toki has been speccing into something called Anarchy and Close Enough, which Anarchy is a skill that it ups your damage but lowers your accuracy, and an Anarchist kind of does that. So this is Wilhelm. He's been talked about for the whole game, but he dies really quickly. He's not as good as people think he is. Oh, he dropped a coach gun?
Oh, awesome.
Level 13.
What level? Wonderful.
So yeah, that's really helpful.
The one you got from Reese.
So here I'm going to travel to Three Horns Divide, but the main mission wants us to go to Sanctuary. However, if we come here to Three Horns Divide, Toki isn't as fast as me, and we have to get to a place where some missions have requirements for the whole party to be there. And if we just teleport to Sanctuary, Toki has to run significantly farther to get to the area than if we travel from there. So here we run up to Davis here, turn the mission, and then I just spam E on this, and it lets me put in the power core early.
We're in business. What the hell? Hey, you know,
So here, if we didn't use Claptrap to skip, if we didn't use this customization station to skip Claptrap's dialogue earlier, I'd be able to use it here to skip some dialogue and skip about like a few minutes of dialogue.
nicely done, Angel. Now, let's kill ourselves.
Like everything they'd be saying here wouldn't be saying.
I got the first one.
So he gets that one. Usually I would have pushed those by now. So I'm going to run up here, because in a second this door is going to blow up and Roland's going to need me to grab some stuff for him.
Got your order, Scooter. Move. Don't work.
Here I'm just going to, if you hold E while looking at massive things, you usually pick them all up. So this cutscene, Lilith is going to eventually teleport us out of the map, and we're going to have to wait seeing a whole cutscene of Sanctuary flying and such. However, we can just travel and skip all of that. and go directly where we need to go next.
I'm such a rock star.
So here Toki is gonna hand the iridium off to Lilith once she decides, because sometimes she doesn't like to.
I've never used this.
Yeah, she took
I
it.
want to hang on to something.
So start to travel. We start to teleport.
We got struck into a skill a few seconds ago called Buck Up. That makes it so that when I have no shields, my action skill Death Trap is going to want to heal me and give me more shields. But if I equip my shield before we travel, it will, I summon Death Trap, he'll start to heal my shields as we leave the level. And when you do that, it'll just cause the game to think that you're still being healed by Death Trap. So after you do it for a while, you can eventually get to the point where you're just getting constantly refilled by your shield, which is going to be useful later on because we're about to go check for a shield called an Amp Shield, which every time you fire it, it's going to take some of your shield capacity for the first shot and use that to amp up your first shot. But if we can make our shield just constantly regen, then we can make it so that we constantly have that upped damage, so that I'm not useless by the end of the round.
Axton stays pretty relevant for the whole thing, but the Necromancer has to do some extra stuff with extra items to stay relevant. Axton can keep staying relevant through just crit stacking infinitely. Here I check this for maybe a better shotgun. We've been getting a lot.
I got a really good Amp Shield here.
What's the damage on it?
157.
Okay, that's pretty good. So here, were there any turtle shields in there?
There are not.
Okay.
Oh, there is one. 833.
Oh, I got a 502. Wait, 833?
Yes.
Can you afford it?
Yes.
Okay. So he grabbed a turtle shield for me, which has a lot of capacity in it. That's about 600 more than my current shield. That's going to keep me alive a whole lot more often. So he's going to drop it for me here. Did you ever put on the anarchist I dropped for you?
I have it in my inventory. I haven't equipped it. I was just about to.
Okay, so I'm full, so I'm just going to drop this and pick it up. So here, I'm just sort of going to keep running through the level while Tokigi does the mission.
I get to press E on something. It's a very hard mission to do.
So here, as you come to this bridge, there's an exploder that usually comes up and blows it up. But I run too fast for it to blow it up. So once he does that, I can travel, which brings Tokigi all the way across the map. He's gonna take off a shield here, and he's gonna do that buck up stack, and travel. So because he doesn't have a shield, Death Trap automatically thinks that he has low capacity and will automatically try to boost it. So here,
stays there after you change the level.
So here I'm going to run over here, which will trigger these guys to spawn, because the game thinks that I ran all the way here first. We aren't really supposed to see them spawn, but
this Thresher can't be killed until after he does his eating the beacon. But here he's just gonna die, and we're gonna pick that up.
I was trying to take off my shield, but I had a full inventory.
Okay.
I almost died.
That's not good.
So here what's gonna happen is Toki's gonna get a car, and he's gonna he's gonna go and hit a checkpoint that we need to be able to travel correctly later. I'm going to go ahead and do the mission and go and put down this beacon that we got from the Thresher.
I just spawned the wrong car, but it's not a huge deal.
Did you get it?
Not yet. Wrong car again. Alright, you can go.
Okay, so this is the Overlook fight. Generally how this fight would go is we just sort of hang out trying to defend the beacon, and...
Your shield off?
No, it's not. Hang on a second. I need to... Yes. And so, travel. So I'm going to be getting these buck up stats. I'm generally going to get 3. Yeah, so with this fight, what we generally do is we just hang around, defend the beacon. However, if we keep switching between that area and this back and forth, repairing the beacon, you can travel. Then, we can just not even need to take part in the beacon and do much better things, like giving me buck up. And it goes a little bit faster too. We have to do it generally like 13 or 15 times, it feels like to me.
I've actually never counted.
You can travel. So sometimes I don't get that because detection in this game is weird and things don't like to know that you're looking at them. You need to, some things you need to look directly at it before it'll let you do things with them.
Let's move out.
You can travel. So here there's not much else to really do besides just keep traveling and giving me buck up. It's...
Yeah, this is a really boring part of the run.
You just sort of sit here, the Axton.
This is one of the reading donations portions of the run.
What I generally do is Toki will travel and I'll just sort of run here and speak to this guy, our best friend who goes, "Heyo."
He has a name. I don't remember what it is though.
I think it's like Stevie or something. Travel.
I can't remember.
It doesn't show me a name whenever I like look at him, so. So we're about to be level 13 also, which means that we can use that that new shotgun in a little bit that we got from Wilhelm. Travel. So we'll just keep doing this until that repair beacon, or that it'll say defend beacon, give us a check mark, and that generally means that we're done.
Ready when you are, Chief.
Travel. So there's probably about like 1 or 2 more of these, and then we'll be done. Travel? I don't know if I got that.
Yep.
Oh, yep, we got it. Alright, and just like that, we've done the whole mission. We didn't need to fight a single enemy, and I got some buck ups. So that means my shield will...
Typically that's just...
Go ahead with what you're saying.
Typically that's just a wave of enemies, just constant waves of enemies you're fighting.
Location, Sanctuary, is now available for travel.
Go, quickly! Use the fast travel station and get back to Sanctuary.
So essentially there... So now no matter what shield I have, I'll be able to have a lot of regeneration, and I'll have way more survivability. Oh. I thought I could withstand that. So I didn't have a shield on there, which meant I took a lot more damage from my grenade. But usually I'll have enough health around there to be able to make it. So yeah, so what I do here is I just grenade jump, and then if it throws me up high enough. Usually that grenade jump is supposed to throw me up way higher. Okay, now you can travel. I'll wait for 2 seconds and then... So now what we're going to do is we're going to have a re-encounter with Mordecai, and this is generally where the run just is fun from here on out. It's way more fun. There's no more waiting around. There's no more stopping for anything. There's just going.
I messed up my merge. Sorry. Alright, you can travel.
Yeah, so for the Necromancer to be able to merge and put their guns into each other, they need to be able to go in their menu.
I bet your friend
So here I'm going to skip some dialogue with Mordecai here by running up to him, clicking E on him, and then running away, and then coming back.
Hey, Roland echoed ahead.
And because we're level 13 now, I'm going to put on this brand new shotgun.
Oops.
So I'm going to come down here. I'm basically going to dupe this shotgun for Tokigi. And I'm going to go and drop a real one for him in the, Did any of them droop? Yeah, okay. I'm going to drop a real one for him in the yard here.
Okay.
Oh, that's the... I just dropped the level 8, I think. Nope, I dropped 2 of them for you. That's good.
Awesome.
And I'm going to put these 2 here. Then... I don't have a shield right now until level 15 because I dropped my other one earlier, so I'm just going to put on this level 3 one. And because I have buck up... Oh, they're over here. So I have to pull this lever here to basically trigger the rest of the mission going on. So this shotgun is a whole lot better, does a whole lot more damage, and now we can kill enemies way more efficient. I don't have another shield until level 15, so I'm just sort of gonna hide around, and Tokigi's going to cripple these loaders, be able to continue the mission in a really quick way. Because Tokigi doesn't have exceptionally high crit damage. He has more base damage than me, much more base damage, but I outrank him in crit damage entirely. So here Tokigi's just going to sort of wait until I give him the okay to die so that he can travel across the map again. That's generally the main form of transportation that the Necromancer has. I have to wait for Tannis here to stop talking so that I can open this door. And he can die now.
Welcome to Dr. Zed's portable clinic. What can
Challenge down.
I don't know if I'm gonna keep my anarchy from that. I don't think I got shot.
Generally, for the Necromancer,
I mean, I kept the thing. I didn't get shot.
their anarchy all of it goes away whenever they die.
2-minute drop the divergence. So what I just got was a legendary weapon. It's not very useful, but it's about a 3% drop rate for that enemy to drop that.
And we can sell it too for a lot of money, in case there's a better shotgun. But
It is a shotgun.
yeah, so I'm just sort of here killing all these enemies here in the fight. There's not much else here aside from just killing everything possible. I usually just sort of throw out my turret for fun. This here is a super BA, which is like a BA but harder. He's dead. We're basically gonna... Toki's gonna get ready to move on. I'm gonna grab the quest item from here, which is Bloodwing's Feather. Bloodwing is the bird that you saw Mordecai with in his first introduction cutscene, and it wasn't really heard earlier because we were moving so fast. But Jack has captured Bloodwing and is doing something with her, and we have to get her back to get a upgrade for Claptrap. So what you saw there, I'm not usually supposed to jump up here, but I have a lot of speed, so I can do it easily. And that door there, it's not real. So by jumping through there and then jumping over on this hill, and then this isn't really either, so by jumping through here, and then shoving myself in this corner, we start the cutscene to do the Bloodwing fight.
I've been doing some really interesting iridium experiments with her. Hate to see her go, but heck with it. This is how it goes.
So while Bloodwing is there's a period here of just Bloodwing flying around, and Tokigi has to do his own type of skip.
I'm sorry, soldier.
Yeah, this is
Do what you can to save her.
a difficult skip.
She's got what we need to get into Control Core Angel and grab the vault key. That's
Here I'm gonna have to do a really hard grenade jump. There are many ways to do it. This is kind of the most consistent way for me to get it. I got it.
Good job.
So in this game, doors don't like to exist, but you should have seen it through Sue's door, or the door. View, yes. Here, I'm going to go over here, which you goes the other way. I'm gonna do one more grenade jump. I missed it, so I'm gonna have to do the slower way. I should be able to make it.
So there you saw that I was doing a whole lot of damage to Bloodwing because, one, we have a new shotgun, and two, I do a whole lot of crit damage. Tell me when you're ready for me to travel.
You can travel.
So there, what generally is supposed to happen is Bloodwing's head is supposed to explode, and then Mordecai's like, no! But we travel for any of that can happen, so Bloodwing doesn't die.
Yeah, no, Bloodwing doesn't die. Yeah.
So here Tokigi's going over to do a side mission called The Law to basically make Claptrap not do this line anymore. And then Tokigi's not going to travel immediately here because I need to grab some side quests to essentially be able to skip some things in the future.
Got a quest for you.
He used to be part of the Crimson Raiders until his methods got too brutal. I didn't think hyperion officials limb from limb in front of their loved ones was an effective way to get him.
So you can travel now?
He disagreed. Still, he owes me a favor, and he can help us get past the bunker outside control core range.
Your method worked, by the way.
What was my method?
Spamming both enter keys at once.
Oh, wonderful.
So usually Scooter has way too many quests there. Usually their Scooter has way too many quests for me to grab within that 2 seconds without being cut off. However, because I spammed both my enter keys at once, I could get them all fast enough. So here I'm just sort of gonna run through this camp here. We were told by by Roland that we need to essentially go find this guy named the Slab King and give him a note. But he thinks we're Hyperion right now. And Tokigi is waiting for... Well, there's a definition of collision just ruining everything. I tried to jump to basically not bump into anything, but I did exactly that. I bumped into something, and it made me die. It wasted like 5 seconds. Anyway, so now Tokigi can die. And if he dies there, without taking any prior damage, he won't lose any of his anarchy stacks. So now the Slab King knows for a fact that we're not Hyperion. He thinks we're recruits, though, and he's not really going to talk to us unless we join his gang. So I'm just going to sort of hop up here, kill these BA Goliaths, so that, like... Oh, hey, a scattergun. So scatterguns are good for me because I mostly need damage, and if this does more damage, it does. It's level 20, but it does more damage than its coach gun, which is just good for later.
Coach gun?
But you got a coach gun? What level?
Yeah, 18.
Oh, okay. Well, that's way better. How much damage did it do?
I didn't see.
Okay, well, that means that we're basically secured for the rest of the run and getting guns that do enough damage. Give it to me after this. Usually I'll level up before Tokigi, and it's just better for me to have the gun first, so that I can
Oh, here, you can look at this if you want.
Oh yeah, here's the legendary that we showed earlier. There's a TDR, and they have really slow fire rates most of the time. What's the slowest fire rate?
Slowest for a shotgun?
Yeah.
I think it's Torg shotguns.
Oh yeah, Torg have really low fire rate.
Like point.
So because these cutscenes are in game, we can do things like this. So this is Brick. He's another Vault Hunter from the first game.
So what you want? You are the biggest
So can you give me the coach gun?
Good job. With Brick's crew
That was
alongside,
dialogue
we
skip.
should have an easier time getting past the bunker. Protecting
So here I'm gonna do like
Come on back and we'll see about
2
getting
crit
to that
stacks,
door that'll only open for Jack.
and then I'm going to skip some of his dialogue. I can put on my new shield now.
Good God. Would you look at that?
So
Well, hello there.
once Brick walks up to here,
Vault Hunter met the slab.
Targeting beacon.
Oh, crap!
and there we go. Now we're able to just sort of go on with the mission. And we have a decent shotgun, so we can just sort of go through here. This is Face McShooty. He was a donation incentive at when Borderlands 2 was at the last AGDQ. And
And the one before.
yeah, and the one for poor. He's usually I have to kill him for this run. But essentially he's a pretty decent donation incentive. Everybody loves him.
We gotta destroy those target beacons! Hey, stay out of the target circles!
There are these targeting circles here that just do like they ignore shields. So Togi and I have to avoid them so we don't just die.
I'm gonna bust that shield!
So we have to basically wait for Brick in a lot of these situations because he's the only one who can break down those shields. This mission would go a lot faster if we just could go to them. But unfortunately we need to wait for Brick. And after each of these beacons are destroyed, we need to go to a little mini fight.
Oh no. Oh, I thought I killed that guy. I try to always kill him because he's one of the ones he always runs to and loses a lot of time.
Let's rip it up!
So generally I'll be the first one to things because I'm just way faster. It's a fact of this run.
I can be fast
I'm
too.
breaking the shield on that beacon!
Not as fast. Oh no.
So that beacon's dead. Brick
Here's an E-Tech.
Brick just tried to fight a barrel. Brick tries to fight anything with a health bar in this area, unless it's like a buzzard. But even so, despite you being like on Brick's side now, this place will still attack you.
Yeah.
Like those
He's
buzzards.
not the most intelligent, but he has very loyal friends.
I see it! Stay out of the target circles!
So Brick is annoying, but at least he's not a hypocrite. He waits for the targeting circles too. So once this shield is destroyed, Toki's gonna take off his shield. And I'm gonna kill these loaders. Because I do a lot of crit damage to them. And they have really easy to hit crit spots. Did he drop a legendary? No, he didn't. Okay, and I'm gonna run all the way over here. And then I'm going to travel.
That was fun.
And Togi's gonna get a buck up stack.
Badass job today, Slab.
You got an amp shield, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I got the really good, like, 156 one.
So here I'm going to do this grenade jump, and then Togi's gonna travel.
Hey, Slab. To be honest, I got...
So here we're going to opportunity, and opportunity really, it's a pretty simple mission. There's not much that can be said about it. There's no real glitches or bugs to do with it. There's no dialogue skipping really. There's just doing the mission really fast. We gotta go kill one of Jack's body doubles.
There's dialogue skipping.
Well, there is.
We overlap some dialogue with some recordings of Jack speaking.
That means passing a bioscan and speaking a password in his voice. If you can kill
So
Is one in the mind. So long as Jack's got those propaganda tests.
that Jack's biodata, but there's
So
still
this
a
is a Jack body
valid
double. I
password.
take his pocket
Grab
watch.
the watch.
I click that, and then I run off to one of the kiosks to click it to skip this, and then it'll continue the mission.
Angels, demons, and
Yes, this is going to work. If I get enough samples of Jack's voice, I can make a voice modulator
This
for
is
you.
a...
hey kids, did you know what your mommies and daddies get?
I almost have what I need.
So by pushing
Just activate a few more
these
kiosks.
kiosks over each other,
Hey,
they will essentially activate each other,
chances of being disemboweled
because they'll think that if you hear part of it once, then you've heard all of it.
opportunity. It's a scientific fact.
And this is the last one.
Did you know littering and opportunity is punishable by death? If not, you also ought to know complaining about
Something I really like about doing too much critical hit damage is that eventually enemies will just start exploding.
Attach the pocket watch quickly.
Lock and load.
Here I'm going to travel just so that
I see the files.
we leave right when Toki picks up the mission item that we need.
All done. Now grab the voice modulator. Great. Now, unfortunately,
Oh yeah, and the game likes to have your characters have a dialogue for testing, but make it very, very loud. Okay, so here, after I turn this mission, Toki's going to just travel anywhere. Hang on a second, I didn't make that grenade jump.
Sorry.
These grenade jumps are very inconsistent when you're not the host, because sometimes they just don't go. Okay, travel.
Hey, Slab.
I usually make a guessing game out of it, so I'm going to guess that we're going to end up in Claptrap's place.
This is it, everybody.
I was close. I was next to it.
I traveled to Claptrap's place the first time.
Okay. And then we just go right back to Sanctuary.
I'm sorry.
Why?
You're so close every time.
So here I'm going to run to Claptrap, and then Toki's going to travel back to Thousand Cuts. So go and travel.
It may take
Minion! Let's go to 1,000 cuts!
or not.
I enlisted you in...
If you slabs can't wreck some
Oh yeah, the
random
Slab
recruit,
King. We haven't introduced him yet.
how are you gonna hurt Jack? By cramping his
So by making sure that check mark appeared, Claptrap should have started up a little bit more up the hill, but oh well.
I'm gonna attack every inch of this mountain if it's the last
So during this, I'm going to just do some crit stacking because I'm starting to fall behind on my crit damage.
ever setting him shop on this cliff. It'll take him minutes to watch this.
I just did a pretty easy grenade jump so I can just get here sooner. My job basically here is just to kill some enemies as Uchi does the mission. Kind of for the most of the run.
So I'm just sort of gonna try to jump over this without having my inputs eaten, and they were eaten. So whenever you get shot, the game thinks that you're in the air. Also, this whole mission is basically a bunch of gatekeepers. You just sort of have to kill enemies to open up doors, and that was one of them. I can ignore a shield just by shoving my gun into it. And I kill all these guys, and I just sort of run up ahead. So up here, there's gonna be some turrets that spawn that I basically just need to kill. What are you doing here?
What happened?
A BA loader just sort of walked out of the door.
Oh yeah, they like to do that.
There's not supposed to be anybody here at first. So here, there's three things that are done. There's either that Axton spec into. They either spec into preparation to give them more shield capacity, metal storm to give them more fire rate, or battlefront so that they get even more damage when they throw out their turret. I like battlefront because more damage is more damage because I don't rebind my key for a long while. But eventually near the end I'm going to be rebinding my my shoot key to mouse go down and using my hyper scrolling mouse. Right now I'm just sort of clicking for the most part.
Watch out for the mortar, Slab!
This area, it's really bad if I die because Uchi won't be able to get me up. I'll lose all my anarchy stacks, and there's nothing to kill for me to get back up. I got up safely though. Hello.
Here I have to kill all these guys first until Toki shows up and I just sort of leave to fight the next gatekeeper. I left him a turret though. It's not a good turret, but it's a turret. Eventually our action skill is just like, they can't even compete with the enemies. Because just like they're they are just base level 16 action skills. They don't have anything going for them like us. So there I killed that BA constructor really fast, and I just run past these guys. And I don't die because I have buck up. And we travel here. That was a gunner, but it was like level 20 or something. Gunner is the... Oh, I have a gunner. Gunner is the class mod that Axton wants because it gives team fire rate. We can soft block here if Brick talks too long and the objective doesn't mark this autocannon dying. Because if it doesn't mark this autocannon dying, it will not respawn without us quitting out. It basically loses about like 5 minutes. It's not a fun time.
By the way, the skills I've spec'd into, when I have a full clip, I get health regen. So since we have infinite ammo, I always have a full clip. And another skill I got just gives you some movement speed after I kill people. Not really breaking anything, just helpful.
And plus, he kills things like pretty much all the time, so he almost always has that movement speed. It's not as dramatic.
I think it gives me something else, but I don't know what it is.
No, it's just movement speed.
Is it? Okay.
But yeah, it's not as significant as my movement speed, but it's still a nice boost.
Oh, it regens my shields.
Oh, does it?
0.8% right now.
So yeah, so basically all we're really doing here is we're killing these autocannons so we can fight the boss that's up here. I'm hoping that I can get them from behind because that's where the critical point is, and so I only have to shoot them once then. I'm the one who basically handles around the rings, but if most of them are around the main area, then I sort of show up to help out. Okay, so for the most part, I'm just sort of around. So that's all of them. So you see the turret just sort of doing its thing. So here at the bunker, all of those red spots there are critical points. So he's a very easy to crit target, but we need him to be looking right at us because there's nowhere else that I can crit on. So we basically have to hope that we get a good cycle and he wants to stop right in front of us, which is looking like he might.
Yep.
Alright, so he comes up, he opens his eyes, and then we do a whole lot of damage to him. Also here for some reason, gunshots get really loud. So once that happens, we both run down here. And we get ready to do the next part. Because at this point he has basically 1 HP, and so because Togi has a skill called Close Enough, which is making him basically home in on enemies, he just needs 1 pellet to hit, which is most likely going to happen with how much he's spamming.
I don't even have my hand on the mouse.
And there we go.
There we go. You'll know if you're about to kill it by Brick talking right there.
So here I'm going to skip a dialogue of Roland's with a quest.
And I'm doing some out of bounds here. We're skipping riding down a really long elevator. This is the elevator shaft that I'm falling down.
Consider this your final warning. No, consider this my final warning.
So I push the button and then I just sort of get to hang out for a small bit. This is the only time that I get to hang out at all. So here what we're going to do is there's usually a cutscene in the very beginning of this, but I'm going to trigger a travel, and we're over here. I'm going to push that button, and right after this there'd be a cutscene where we meet Angel and we just sort of hang out. But because we left, that doesn't happen. So what's going to happen here is before we actually go in and begin the fight, Toki is going to activate Poetic License when I tell him to. Activate it.
If I can find it in my list, I will. There we go.
And so doing that just makes the Just makes the fight start automatically. Otherwise, there'd be like Angel would be like, destroy the iridium ejector, and Jack would be like, no, shields. And it's really weird. For this whole thing, I'm just going to be idly doing crit stacks on the side. Toki is going to be doing most of the fighting whenever I'm in the middle of crit stacking. Otherwise, I'll try to help. We're about to be 18, which means we're about to get our new shotgun. So I'm not going to be crit stacking too much this fight, but it's still really good to crit stack. I sold my scattergun earlier because we have this, because we're going to be getting a Jacobs, and it most likely does. We're going to be getting a coach gun, I mean, which is most likely going to be doing more.
Oh yeah, if you're wondering why you're hearing a lot of beeping, that is my buck-up glitch going on. My shield is just regenning, and every time the shield regens, it makes a beeping sound.
Did I miss something? Or is Angel a siren?
Well, hello there.
Here's your gun.
Thank you.
So Toki's not quite level 18, but he's about to be. So because we have a new gun now, we do a lot more damage. Things are just better.
People level up too, which is going to give us damage increase.
Things are just better now.
Things are going very, very well. Oh, this has a higher fire rate. This is beautiful.
Oh yeah, the higher the fire rate, the faster Toki can shoot. Uh-oh. So, I have to navigate my menu really quickly throughout this whole thing, so I'm not just like wasting time and, you know, just generally not being productive. Here we're basically fighting all these enemies and making sure that they die quick enough so that Roland can continue on and getting the next shield down. There's generally not much to talk about here. It's really just a lot of killing.
Yeah, this is another one of those good times for donation readings. I think they had that happen in previous runs.
That's generally what they do whenever there's a time where the runners need to just don't really have much to say other than, hey, we have to kill things.
Well, hello there, loot.
Funny thing about this game with the way it compensates for enemies dying too quickly, it just sort of spawns a new one on top of it.
Yeah, you'll see examples of that throughout the whole run, starting around our flint fight.
Yeah, flint fight is around the first example of it. So yeah, I'm not going to be doing any risky crit stacking now since we have an on-level gun. So there I activated that quest to try to skip some dialogues, and I think I got it. Yeah, I did. There'd be this big thing with Lilith showing up and Roland telling her that she shouldn't have come. But because I played that quest, we didn't need to hear it. So now the goal is just to kill all these things as fast as possible so that the game will basically allow us to move on with our lives.
fight is actually going very, very well.
There's an example of the game just spawning a new enemy because one died. So here what we're going to do is, there's usually a big cutscene with right after this where it shows Roland dying and everything like that. But we're gonna skip that just by leaving.
I was on vacation.
So I generally wait for Roland to have his line and then I travel. Togi's gonna have to.
Kind of guy who deserves to die.
I'm gonna let him focus here. Yeah, if Toki doesn't get that, then there's no chance of us traveling out of there. But because we did,
It's an extremely long cutscene that plays after that.
so here I'm gonna take off my shield and throw some grenades.
I'm ready for you.
Other accents just sort of shoot themselves with their Vlad off, but I find that doing this is about the same speed, and you don't have to redo your crit. So I'm gonna respawn and travel.
I'm gonna take my shield.
I'm gonna travel to Sanctuary.
Things aren't going well. Things are going well. Okay, go.
Oh, I thought it was going. Here we travel. He gets a buck up. Then we get here. Marcus still thinks we're stealing his stuff. What's supposed to happen is we're supposed to be teleported out of there into Marcus's area, and then Marcus thinks that we looted his area.
What the? How the hell did you get back there? Oh, friggin' vault buttons.
Togi's gonna travel, now?
The dust.
Yeah, to the dust.
Are you okay?
We get to visit our best friend Ellie again.
For about 5 seconds.
Yeah.
It's a big ol' hi bye. I gotta grab some quests of her though.
Have you seen those hood ornaments?
Products made to me. I think they're trying to mock me or something. But that design is bad ass. Could you scrap some of their cars and bring me a few of those ornaments?
So here I'm just sort of running to the next area. It's called the Iridium Blight. It's basically where most of the iridium is that gets mined. Tokiki should have gotten a car by now, so that he just has one whenever we get through here, because the game allows cars to travel with you midway through levels, but only if the next level allows a car.
Welcome to the Iridium Blight.
There are some levels where cars aren't allowed.
Well, still a crap hole.
The next level we're about to go to won't allow it, so I'll just give an example of the car going away after we travel.
What's going to happen in here is I'm going to activate a dialogue and then try to skip it. And if we can skip it, that means that we can just immediately travel.
Detected. Locking path to info stockade.
I didn't have any missions to skip it.
Jack doesn't want us getting
Once he says brick, then Toki can travel.
Got a plan to get to the stockade?
Blow stuff
What?
up, that's my plan. Vault Hunter. Get the sawtooth
That's an
vault.
example of projectiles in this game. You can end up killing things, but afterwards, if their projectile is still going, then you can die right after, and then you'll be left with nothing to pick yourself off of.
My boys can blast open
I'm
the
up now,
path to the
so
info stockade.
Toki can travel.
They'll need some better firepower. You're
So here we have a basic joke that Toki does whenever we come here.
sawtooth bandits are keeping the bombs.
I typically scream bloom, but I don't want to scream.
You'll have to push through a butt
The bloom in this
Because
game
there's
is
a lot of bloom there.
the bloom in this game is horrible.
You know, it's still not the worst bloom I've seen in the game.
We don't talk about Overwatch.
I'm talking about Counter-Strike Source. But
It's a witty bitty slab.
So here I'm gonna run over here, and there are gonna be these ambush commanders that come in. They're supposed to be really hard, but I just try to do this. And there's 4 of them, so... And now they're all dead.
Good job.
So now I can just go ahead and run to the... There's a specific door that we have to exit out of here to be able to go to the next mission location. If we don't leave through this door, then the mission's going to be upset at us. I'm just going to run through here. What we're supposed to be doing is we're supposed to be going up to destroy this buzzard that belongs to the guy who won't let the elevator down. It's called Boombringer. And I'm just going to run up, destroy it idly, then leave.
There's nothing Mortar loves more than... Hey, do me a favor. After you blast Boombringer,
Enemies are way higher level than us right now, so it's very easy for them to kill us.
like such a badass.
No amount of buck up in the world is going to help me if they do more damage than my shield capacity.
Sounds like you can take the elevator now.
Oh, I thought you found a new way to like clip into the wall. And that was your location this time.
Yeah, I find a new location there every time to see if I can be funny. I couldn't figure one out there. I kept running out of grenades.
So here the elevator is coming down, and it's a lot faster to just sort of spam at this door, and so once Mortar comes out, he just immediately dies. What?
Uh-oh.
So Mortar's body has collision still, which is keeping me from going in. Oh dear. But luckily I'm able to just shove myself into the door and keep going.
That's a new one for us. That's not been seen before.
That's another demonstration of Borderlands 2's wonderful collision. So I'm killing all these guys to make these buzzers spawn as fast as they can. If these guys don't die, then the buzzers don't spawn.
Not doing much damage.
Buzzers are extremely easy to crit on.
Now mark those crates for pickup, and our boys will come and get them. They'll need those charges to blast open the path to the info stockade.
So here I'm going to be marking these boxes, and so is Tokiki, and he's going to tell me when the last box is about to be picked up so that we can safely travel. If we don't, if we travel before they're all picked up, then we need to go up and remark it and wait for the buzzard to come back.
You can go.
All right.
Well done.
Brick saying well done is generally a indicator that we got it.
Here, I'm gonna get a car because the next level we go to does let us have cars. And I need to get somewhere pretty fast. I'm not very fast.
Strangely, the fastest car in the game is a different version of the Bandit Technical. The barrel one is much faster than the saw blade one. That's King Mong, one of the hardest mini bosses in the game, and also a Donkey Kong reference. Or King. Actually, no, it's a King Kong reference. There's Donkey Mong though. So here, Toki is gonna go off to where he needs to go, and I'm sort of gonna go there. Upcoming is my least favorite line in this whole game. Fun fact: so there are these little slag puddles throughout the whole game, throughout this whole level, and throughout the game somewhat. And if you go through one in a vehicle, you are permanently slagged, and slag is basically just something that makes you take more damage. When enemy gets slagged, they take more damage, and if you're permanently slagged, then you will permanently take more damage. It's one of those permanent effects that we just don't like. The only way you can get rid of it is by saving and quitting out of the game.
Here, I'm just pumping these things. I'm gonna hide and hope that nothing sees me, because the enemies here are very not fun to fight.
They're basically all the perfect type of enemies for Toki to not be able to kill them. So here I need to go and grab a car because, well, first I need to get up. Because again, there's a lot of high level enemies and there's a lot of flying enemies that try to chase me. So I'm going to spawn this car, and I want a saw blade one, because that one's slower, and if I have a non-saw blade one, then I have a chance of flying over this and basically wasting time. Because I saw Blade, I went slow enough, and I didn't just jump over that. There I try to do a very inconsistent trick where I run throughout the whole tunnel and then jump into the ladder. It's extremely inconsistent, so what a lot of runners will do is they'll stop right before they come out, then jump into it. But I just like to go for it each time because it's just faster, and so like it's not really a big make or break for a run.
Here I have a really hard job. I have to wait and travel.
It's the hardest.
Very difficult. I mean, I don't know how.
We're always like a little scared if he'll be able to get it or not. It's really hard to get tricked.
Honestly, I really need time to focus during this.
So if we usually call for a moment of silence, and he like locks his door and everything, cause just so his roommate doesn't come in and distract him.
Great. Lilith has quite a little mouth on her, doesn't she? And as it turns out, when that iridium is pumping through her body, I can stab her over and over.
All right, you can travel.
And over, and it just feels right back.
Oh god, I got it. Oh, I'm so relieved.
Yeah, we really didn't know if he was gonna get that or not. So here, Togi's gonna go back to that law mission that we saw a long while back at Claptrap when we were giving him his upgrade, and he's just gonna activate it after I turn this mission. And that makes it so we don't need to wait for him to be able to talk to Claptrap. So I'm gonna run up to Claptrap, and he's gonna travel back to the Iridium Blight.
It's time to end this. I'll meet you out in the Iridium Blight.
And so this is basically the last mission of the game. All we really need to do now is a final fight, and then we go and fight the final boss. After this fight here, Tokigi basically does absolutely nothing.
You do what you have to stop him from waking that warrior, even if it means
Like,
taking me out.
I wish it was less literal than that, but no, he does nothing.
Things are just going worse for me.
Basically, how it goes is, in the very beginning, the Necromancer does most of the stuff, but in the very end, the Axton does most of the stuff.
Typically, you're supposed to be able to drive through there, but my car got blown up, so I'm just kind of walking now. Get my walk of shame in.
Claptrap's a very violent box. A very violent box of rage. Unfortunately, his the only emotion that he's locked to is happy. No matter what he's feeling.
But can he feel?
Well, I think they answered this in pre-sequel.
It is in the next Borderlands game, or the previous, or.
We don't like to talk about 2K Australia. They went bankrupt.
We don't. Yeah, we don't talk about. We don't talk about the pre-sequel. However, they did run it. I think Fun Cannon ran it at
It was at SGQ 2016.
Access denied.
Oops. He is not supposed to spawn, but it doesn't matter.
Borderlands has been a pretty successful game over all the GQs. It's always entertaining.
Dispatching additional troops.
Yeah.
Everybody likes to everybody just likes to see like Axton take off at the speed of sound, or Claptrap jumping through walls at the very beginning of the game.
Yeah, there's something just fun about watching a shotgun shoot forever
And ever.
and ever.
Oh, because I don't need a crit stack anymore, I can go and rebind my shoot button. So I'm just gonna get rid of my current mouse with a scimitar and grab my random Alienware hyperswing mouse, and now I get to join the party. So now both Tokigi and I are doing insane amounts of damage and shooting insanely fast. And because we're just shooting, the recoil is basically non-existent. Because, like, it's already implementing the recoil.
Yeah, you'll see we'll drag our mouse down when we start to shoot up.
Oh, don't worry, this game censors itself sometimes. So this is all really this fight is. There's nothing really to talk about. It's just shooting and shooting. And that's the fight.
Reinforcements depleted.
It feels so weird for it to just go silent like that.
Yeah.
So now that that fight's over, I'm gonna run over here. I'm gonna grab some side quests to basically make Claptrap not to do the only thing that they programmed him to do.
We did it. There's no stop.
Okay, look, I need your help. I know what you're thinking.
Wait, hold up. There's a.
I built our cottage on the Iridium Blight.
Dang it!
Check on it. Please. Make
Yeah, I
sure
think there's a surveyor.
I will pay you to kill yourself.
Minion, you've got to go on with that. Do your master proud.
And now Toki's done.
I don't have to do anything.
Now I just sort of run through this map.
Feel that, child killer? The key's nearly charged. This
And
world
because I go so fast,
can't.
this map is designed in such a way that I can just sort of run past it. Here I gotta hope that these snipers here, well, he just got a direct shot on me, so I just immediately die. But I gotta hope that, like, whenever they shoot me, it's not an elemental damage type, because the tick damage is so fast that,
Ships out to Senate tomorrow, and I don't want you with us.
oh yeah, we never used that.
Yeah, I forgot to.
We've just recently started using that, the trick of keeping that. So this is Axton's backstory. We didn't really get to hear it earlier. But yeah, so I'm just running through here because it's really easy to. Sometimes these sergeant loaders will just sort of kill me, but that's okay.
What I'm doing, I'm not supposed to be doing, but I'm just playing around with guns as I wait.
And so now that we've reached the final level, I just sort of run off, and I ramp off and skip the entire level leading up to the final boss.
You and your kind have corrupted Pandora with your greed and
Just
your
like that.
hatred. It comes down to me.
I just throw a turret. It's Claptrap's best friend, the turret.
Hey, you're right on time. Key's nearly ready. But before I cleanse this planet for good, I'm gonna avenge my
And here I'm just sort of gonna scroll in his general direction, just like that.
That it? Huh?
No! The key's charged!
I'm not dying yet. You're too late, bandit. I win. The greatest.
So this is the final boss.
Pandora has ever seen.
It's
And it's mine to
it's a cute lizard. He has plasma wings and a fire body. Honestly, to me, he looks like a bootleg Pokemon.
Yeah.
He was like a Pokemon from one of those like Facebook Pokemon games. And so I basically just scroll my gun in his general direction and die, apparently. It's okay. I can't see because I'm on fire, though. Usually he doesn't attack with that attack. Oh, dear. Uh-oh. So this is the power of Buck up here that you can hear. So usually I do them in one cycle, but because I got killed, I didn't have enough time to get him down to one cycle. So now he has 1 HP. And I'm going to go in, dump a whole lot of weapons from my inventory. Because when he dies, oh hey, a blue coach gun, level 30.
That just hurts.
So he spawns all of these guns and they can land on top of the key and make things harder.
I think you killed it. Never hurts to make sure, though. Hit the button on the moonshot console.
So hit that button, come over here, start spamming. Oh hey, you made it.
I did.
Here, you shoot him and I'll grab the key. And time stops right when we get this. And then we quit out, and then we're done. So that is the Borderlands 2 speedrun. Lots of stuff. I hope we did a good job at describing everything for you. I really hope you consider it for GDQ. It's a very entertaining run. There's, as you could see, there's a lot of fun glitches and a lot of just random stuff that keeps happening. And do you have any final comments, Tokiki?
If you have any questions about us in the run, donation incentives or anything, just message us.
All right. So that's it. We'll be hoping to get some feedback from you in the near future.